Z-Scan. Quartz downhole pressure and temperature gauge zPas-20M. General technical description, specifications and maintenance. The downhole quartz pressure gauge zPas-20M measures and records pressure and temperature along the wellbore and their variation in time at any point in a wide range of pressure transient analysis, such as fall-off or build-up tests, pressure core testing, etc. The gauge performs fast temperature measurements and can locate gas, oil and water contacts in the well, among other applications. Can be used either as a single gauge or tandem gauge runs with crossover. There are threads on the bell nose and housing of the appliance for mounting into a tandem gauge. The gauge has a non-volatile memory and can be connected to the computer via a mini USB cable. The gauge has a cylindrical casing consisting of the sensor assembly and a cover connected by a thread. The measuring head has a probe and a temperature sensor at the end of the sensor assembly. The pressure sensor is also integrated into a measuring head. A special channel is made to allow free passage of fluid to the sensor. To protect the sensor, there is a bell nose with the holes for the passage of fluid. Gauge components. Housing. Battery unit. Mini USB connector. Sensor assembly. Temperature sensor. Bell nose. Crossover. Technical specifications. Pressure range to up 60 megapascal or 8700 psi. Pressure resolution 20 pascal. Temperature rating up to 0 to 150 Celsius degrees or 302 Fahrenheit degrees. Temperature resolution 1000 of degrees Celsius. Housing material titanium. H2S resistant design. Memory capacity. 2 million temperature datasets. 2 million pressure datasets. Outside diameter 28 mm. Over length 356 mm. Gauge maintenance. Applying a protective lubricant. The fluid in the borehole is a corrosive medium, therefore the pressure receiver and the lubricant nipple must be coated with the lethal or similar protective lubricant before work commences. If the gauge has already been filled with protective lubricant, it must be replaced. Before changing the lubricant, make sure that the cover of the gauge is firmly screwed on the sensor assembly. Remove the bell nose from the sensor assembly. Remove the pressure sensor plug by unscrewing the two fixing screws. General view of plug with fixing screws. General view of the sensor end of the sensor assembly. Important: do not damage of the temperature probe when filling the lubricant nipple. Supply lubricant through the lubricant change channel. The supply stops when fresh lubricant flows from the pressure receiver. Refit the plug using the fixing screws. Apply lubricant using the lubricant nipple in the lubricant change channel until it exceeds the hole on the plug. Care should be taken to avoid damaging the plug. Remove excess lubricant with a rag. Attach the ball nose to the sensor assembly. Battery installation and replacement. A new battery is recommended for each field test survey. Prepare new battery pack in advance. Place the ball nose on the sensor assembly. This will prevent damage to the temperature probe. Remove the gauge cover from the sensor assembly. There is a battery compartment at the rear end of the sensor assembly. At the beginning of the battery compartment is the battery connector. Disconnect the old battery from battery connector. Remove the retaining ring with pliers. Important: be very careful when doing this, otherwise you may lose the retaining ring. Remove the battery and the inserts by removing the retaining ring. Place the liner on the positive side of the battery. This side slides the battery into the battery compartment. Make sure that the tail goes into the hole next to the power connector. Next, the liner is fitted over the negative terminal of the battery. Using the retaining ring pliers, feed the retaining ring into the groove. Connect power to the gauge by inserting the connector on the battery tail into the power connector. Hide the tail in the hole of the battery connector. This will prevent the power supply from being interrupted when the gauge cover is closed. Replacing the O-rings. The O-rings serve to seal the gauge. They are replaced once a year, or if they lose their shape. Thank you for watching. You can find more details on our website zscan.com.